Well, hello everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, the first in our Engineering Tomorrow conversations with the new department leaders here at South Dakota Mines. My name is Mark Vaillancourt, and I am the CEO for the Center for Alumni Relations and Advancement here at South Dakota Mines, and it is my pleasure to serve as moderator for this conversation today with Dr. Rudrajit Mitra, who is the interim head for the Mining Engineering and Management Department. A couple of housekeeping notes here before we get started. One, we are recording this webinar, and in a couple of days or probably early next week, we will post that webinar online for you to see it again and to watch it, but also more importantly for you to share it with those that may not have been able to be here today. The next 45 minutes will go as follows. Here in a few minutes, I will turn over the presentation to Dr. Mitra, and he'll share a little bit about himself and the department and some information that I think you will all find very helpful and inspiring and energizing. And then after that, we will have a Q&A section. So here's how the Q&A is going to work. If you look at the bottom of your webinar screen, you should see a little question mark in a screen, which is the Q&A section. So what I would like you to do is put all of your questions in that Q&A, and then I will use those and we'll begin to moderate the question and answer period. One more thing, if you want to let us know, and I put it in the chat here, where your name, your degree, and your graduation year, and then where you're joining us from. If you do that in the chat, that would be great. We'd love to see where everyone is from. So again, before I turn it over to Dr. Mitra, if you have any questions you want to ask Dr. Mitra, just put them in the Q&A, and when we get to that portion, I will serve as the moderator, and we'll pick and we'll try to get to all of the questions from that point. So without any further delay, it is my pleasure to welcome and introduce you to Dr. Rudrajit Mitra, the interim department head for mining engineering and management. Dr. Mitra, welcome, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Mark. Let me make sure I run my presentation. Okay, I just want to make sure, can everyone see me and see the presentation? Sorry.
Yes, we can see your presentation. You're good to go, Dr. Mitra.
Thank you very much, Mark. So again, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on whichever time zone you fall. Thank you for this opportunity to be with you. As you all know, the Mining and Management, or the Mining Engineering and Management Department, has a remarkable legacy built over generations by faculty, students, staff, industry partners, and above all, you all, the alumni. Today, I would like to share a little bit of my own journey, where the department stands today, how mining is changing, and the future I believe we can build together. So, okay, there you go. So rather than reading my resume, let me tell you what this journey has meant for me. My foundation began in India, and that's where I got my undergraduate degree in mining engineering. Graduate study then brought me to the United States. I did my master's at Penn State, a PhD at Virginia Tech. From there, this industry has taken me to Australia, South Africa, Germany, before bringing me back to this country, to South Dakota Mines in fall of 2022. Now, across these chapters, I did have the opportunity to teach, conduct research, serve in various roles in these institutions, and take on various leadership responsibilities. Each of these places have shaped how I approach my students, scholarship, partnership, and service. So those experiences have now informed me how I lead here. Now, that journey has never been all by myself. Bonnie, my wife, and our 11-year-old daughter, Iona, has shared every move, every transition, and every new beginning. South Dakota, to us, is not just simply where I work, it has now become our home. Leading a mining engineering department with such a history and reputation is the realization of a long held dream. It is also a profound privilege, and I see that privilege as a responsibility to honor what generations before me, before us, have built, and to leave the department stronger for those who follow. Now, the good news is we begin from a position of strength, and I really appreciate and thank all the people who have done all the hard work before me. Now, the new core mineral industries building, and I'm proud to say that we all are in there now. This gives our students and faculty a modern environment for learning and collaboration. Now, I'd just like to pause here and take the opportunity to personally thank all of you who have contributed for this building. It is a great building. It is one of the newest buildings before Survey comes in. I can truly say that it is one of the newest buildings on campus now. And we are proud to be part of it. Our students are pursuing internships, field experiences, and strong career opportunities. And behind all of this is a committed team of faculty and staff supported by industry partners and, of course, our alumni. So we have the momentum. The question now is, how do we use that momentum to prepare students for a profession that is changing rapidly? Now, while we are on this whole mining industry, we know that this industry is changing, and it is changing at a pace that a lot of us didn't think about it will. So this changing landscape is the reason we must be thinking very carefully about how do we educate the next generation. As we all know, the demand for critical minerals is growing, supply chains remaining concentrated. The IEA, or the International Energy Agency, has projected that the overall critical minerals demand could nearly double by 2040, lithium demand rising more than threefold. I mean, we all see these statistics that is coming out from different media outlets. It also identifies a potential significant copper supply gap by 2035. Along the same time, we have technology changing, how mines operate, expectations for safety and responsible development arising, and the profession faces substantial workforce renewal. SME, which is our biggest society, did an analysis which was also cited by the US DOE, projecting that more than 50% of our workforce in the country, which is approximately around 220,000 people, would retire and require replacement by 2029. We are in the middle of 2026 and we are talking of 2029. So that's less than even 3 years. So the message is very clear. Future graduates will need strong technical foundations, adaptability, judgment, communication, and leadership. Uh, we at the School of Mines, as a Department of Mining, Engineering, and Management, we are not waiting for that change. We are already responding. Um, so students are learning by doing through field work, projects, laboratories, and industry engagement. Now, this robotic dog that you see here, and again, thank you to all our donors who helped us in acquiring this robotic dog. It gives students a flexible platform for robotics, sensing, autonomous systems, and field based problem solving. Now, the plan is through a big curriculum change to implement all of this as part of our revised curriculum that we are in the process of developing. We are also able to raise funds from our alumni for a 3D printer and VR glasses that we are in the process of acquiring. And through all this, these are all tangible examples of what donor generosity can make possible. A new learning tool that creates student experiences and opens doors for research. Again, through the mining hub, which has been for some time in this department, and our broad partnerships, we are connecting this kind of innovation more directly with the needs of the profession. My goal is to bring these efforts together with a clear direction for the future. So, when I think of the future, I do not mean to begin with rankings or numbers. I begin to develop a kind of department I believe we can become through all your help. So, this is my vision. It is not a statement I'm imposing on the department, but a direction shaped by what I've learned from people, from our students, from our faculty, from our staff, industry partners, and of course, you all. It is a direction which I hope we will begin to continue to refine together. Now, in my view, this rests on four connected commitments: student success, innovation and research, strong partnerships with industry, government, alumni, communities, and a culture where people feel supported, connected, and proud to belong. So the outcome I want is pretty straightforward. I want us to be a department, the Department of Mining, Engineering, and Management, where students thrive, faculty innovate, partners engage, and alumni remain lifelong members of our community. So, for students, preparing for the future does not mean just chasing new technology. I mentioned about all the new technologies that the industry is working on. It means combining the durable engineering foundations with the ability to keep learning throughout a career. I mentioned about that we are in the process of redesigning our curriculum. There's a lot of new technologies that is currently, we all hear about AI and machine learning. We want to implement them, but we definitely don't want to give up the foundation. The foundation, the engineering foundation, is what we want to keep. We want to add on to these students to make sure they learn about these technologies. So students need meaningful experience before graduation, and that's what we do. We want to do it through fieldwork, internships, design, real industry problems. They should be comfortable using these new technologies, automation, digital twins, and immersive tools without losing sight of the engineering judgment. And technical ability alone, as we all know, is not enough. Communication, teamwork, ethics, responsible decision making must travel with them. We want to teach students all this, but we want to make sure that at the end of the day, they need to take engineering decisions, engineering judgment, not just on what machine learning tells them, but based on what their foundation is. Our graduates should be ready not only for their first job, but for a career of change. Now, research, as we all know, as part of the universities, it's another essential part of that future. Our expertise with all our faculty spans across rock mechanics, ventilation, blasting, mine planning, critical minerals, digital technologies, and environmental performance. But the list of topics is less important than the question connecting them. Does the work that we all do change what is possible? Can it make mining safer, systems smarter, mineral supply more secure, and so on? So, our impactful research that we want to do at the department should also strengthen education. It should give graduate and undergraduate student opportunities to work with us to solve these difficult problems, work across disciplines, and contribute to the profession before they graduate. So that when they go out in the industry, they would know how to communicate, how to solve problems, working together as a group, not just with their peers within their mining engineering, but with other uh, people, other professions. And that's what we want them to learn in the department, in the university before they go out. Now, the work ahead is too complex for one particular department or any single department to do it all by myself or all alone. Partnership is not separate from education and research. It is how both of them become more relevant and more impactful. Now, industry surely brings real operating challenges, technical expertise, internships, and clear pathways. Government connects our work to national priorities and workforce investment. Communities remind us that responsible progress depends on trust and shared values. But most importantly, it is you all, the alumni, who hold a unique place in this network. You understand both the department and the profession, and you bring experience, credibility, institutional memory, and connections that can open doors for students. The goal is not to center our work on one particular company or any particular initiative. It is to build a broad and durable community of partners. When expertise, resources, experience, and trust all come together, ideas become hands on learning, useful research, and meaningful opportunities. So, what am I looking forward from, for my alumni? My invitation today is not simply to contribute financially. It is to participate in whatever way fits your experience and circumstances. Mentor a student who is trying to understand where a mining career can lead. Open a door to an internship, site visits, project, or first job. Share your expertise in a class, advisory discussions, or research challenges. Advocate for mining and tell the story of South Dakota Mines. We really want you to help us. You do not have to do everything. I mean, we all know that individuals can't do everything, but if we all play a part, it will help us help one student take one meaningful next step. The collective effort will be extraordinary. So with that, I just want to say that the legacy of our department is our foundation. It was built by people who cared deeply about students, the profession, and this institution. As we build its future, I do not want to assume that I have all the answers. I'm here to listen to your experiences. I'm here to talk to you. I'm here to learn from your perspectives and understand what you believe will help our students and our department succeed. We, as a department, we are in a very critical time. With all the changes going on in the industry, we surely need your help. And I'm here to ask for your help, not, as I said, not only through your financial support, but through your time, expertise, mentorship, professional connections, internships, and advocacy. My door is open, and I hope you will stay connected, share your ideas, and help us write the department's next chapter together. Together, we will honor the legacy and build that future. Thank you very much. And I'm happy to take any questions, and I'll leave it off to Mark now. Sorry, Mark, you're on mute.
Thank you, Dr. Mitra, and for calling me out on the mute. I appreciate it. All right, for those who joined us maybe a little bit later or when at the early stages of Dr. Mitra's conversation, if you can, if you have any questions for Dr. Mitra, if you can please use the Q&A function here below, type in your questions, and I will serve as the moderator and get those asked for you. So, Dr. Mitra, as we wait for some of the questions to populate here, let me just, let's see if I can have you, can I have you turn your screen off so we can actually
Sure
see you fully? There we go. Thank you.
There you go.
So maybe as we wait for questions, let me offer this initial one for you. What differentiates the South Dakota Mines program from larger mining programs? So what's unique about the way that we present and teach mining and mining management here at South Dakota Mines?
Thank you, Mark, for this question. I think I'll start with one thing is, again, we are a small school, we are a small department. And what really differentiates us from bigger schools is we know students by their name. They are not just a number. It's interesting you are asking me this. I had a visitor from one of the local companies, and I don't want to name the company, but he was here this morning wanting to know about our department. And I said, you will be known as Mark. You will be known as Peter. You won't be just a number of, a student ID in our class. The department has built that legacy, and the people in this department, the faculty, the staff, they are very friendly. We have an open door policy. Unless I'm busy in a proposal or doing something, they can always come and talk to me or the faculty members. So that definitely differentiates us from some of the bigger, larger mining schools. The cost of living in South Dakota Mines compared to other bigger schools or the other school of mines, I don't want to name them, but again, it's definitely advantageous. The relationship we have with our industry, with our alumni, all students who want to get an internship or who want to get a job, they all have a job. There's been a few times when a couple of international students had some issues in getting internships. All it required was for faculty members to call companies and say, hey, we have this awesome student. Unfortunately, due to visa regulations and things like that, he's having some issues. Can someone help? Guess what? Within a week, the students got something. So that is something that we are proud of. And again, thank you to all the industry partners, to our alumni for doing this.
All right, so we have a couple more questions here as we begin to populate here. So let me start with this one here. From your perspective, what kind of diversification can the department provide in addition to mining major? And that's a question from one of our guests here, one of our alumni.
I'm assuming you mean like different types of programs, or
Yeah,
Like,
so the question reads exactly like this. What kind of diversification department can provide in addition to mining major? So is there additional degrees or tracks that students can take within the department?
absolutely. Now, as you know, we are, and I should mention this, I'm sure all of you know, but we are the only school or the only department in the whole nation that offers a degree it's a Department of Mining, Engineering, and Management. So the students who take or doing a BS in Mining, Engineering, and Management also get a flavor of the management degree, which other departments around the country don't get. So definitely when they graduate, they get that bit of a management flavor. Number one. Number two, there's a lot of minors that we as a school have started. So there's a critical minerals minor that started a year or two back, and there's a critical minerals looking into the first phase of the whole cycle. There's a critical minerals minor in the second phase of the processing side of things. So that's another minor that the students can take. There's also the BMIT, or the Business Management and Technology program, or BS degree that students can take. I always encourage students to think about taking a major in mining with a minor in something, be it a minor in mechanical, be it a minor in critical minerals, be it a minor in BMIT. All it would need is a few extra credits. But when you go out in the industry, you will be in much more demand compared to just doing a BS. Now, let me clarify that. I don't mean to say that a student getting just a BS in mining engineering is not in demand. Everyone is in demand, but it just helps them to have a broader perspective if they get a minor. So I hope I'm able to answer that question.
Right. One of the other question was more of a comment, Dr. Mitra, was that go ahead and say it, that party school in Colorado. So I just wanted you to know that that was one of the comments from one of our alumni. Here's another question here from Don. How does the mining engineering department interact with other departments in terms of wider project effort? An example might be the use of robotics in mining. So let's talk about the partnerships with other departments on campus.
Absolutely. Now that's again another great question. At this point of time, all these collaborations have been happening more from a research side of things. So, be it robotics in collaboration with electrical engineering and computer science, be it mechanical engineering, be it chemical engineering. So, there's a lot of interactions, collaborations that are happening at the research side of things. Now, remember, I said we are in the process of redesigning our curriculum. So, we have, again, some of our advisory board members, some faculty members that we have grouped together. Now, one of the objectives of looking into this curriculum redesign is keeping the engineering foundation, keeping the basics of mining engineering, but how can we implement things like data science, machine learning? Now, we are not experts in those. We would like to collaborate with other departments of how we can teach those, be it as an individual course, be it as an elective, or be it as part of our mining course. So I'm hoping that in the next few years, the next year or two, actually, we will have more interaction with other departments also from a teaching side of things.
Great. I think this is a companion question, Dr. Mitra, from Kirby. And Kirby, once I ask it, if you want to add more, then let me know. His question is as follows. You are in the process of updating the curriculum to meet modern needs, which you just spoke about. And his question is this: does that include how laboratory studies will be specialized? So kind of a little bit more depth in the lab side of it. And his additional comment is that, in short, laboratories are a critical resources for mining work, but mining management engineers doesn't necessarily need the same background as a research scientist. So can you opine on that a little bit?
No, see, I mean, definitely laboratories are part of our curriculum. One of the things that we want to include is a lot of experiential learning in our program, and that includes field work, that includes lab work. So it's something like students come, sit in presentations, then they go out to the industry, go out as part of their field work, go out as part of their internships, take that knowledge, and then you apply that knowledge in the industry, come back and apply it in later courses. So whether it's lab work, whether it's field work, whether it's internship, we are trying to twine them all together to make sure that the students not just listen to us. It's no more death by PowerPoint where we just make them sit in class. So it is all put together. Now, just a bit of clarification. The mining engineering and management degree, yes, it does have a few management courses, but the basic courses that we teach, rock mechanics, mine planning, ventilation, they all have lab components to it. So students get to not just sit, but go down to the rock lab and test rocks and see what is it? Go down to our vent lab and see, oh, how does the air go from one point to the other? So it is part and parcel of the program.
Great. Question from Tyler here is as follows. What's your plan for recruitment to help offset that 100K or that 100,000 retirement group in the next few years? So what's the recruitment angle here for you?
I'll tell you this is one of the challenges, and it's a challenge that we at the School of Mines, not just us at the School of Mines, but also across the nation, we are struggling with it. We have a department heads group, and we are all thinking about how we can help each other. So it's not just collaboration that we are doing within the School of Mines, but we're also going out and talking within that mining department heads group to say, how can we help each other? Now, some of the things that I've done or are in the process of doing is talking to our community colleges. And there's a lot of help that I'm getting from our top management at the School of Mines is to say how we can collaborate with the community colleges so that they do 2 years of their time in community colleges and then transfer into mining. We are trying to reach out to high school, to middle school. We are trying to reach out to even international partners. So it is one of the big challenges, but I think we all are trying our best to do it. And as I said, the closest one we have done is trying to build relationship with community colleges. However, as I said, I'm here to listen. I'm here to hear all your ideas. If any of you have ideas, and if also you all can go out to places close to your high school, middle school, and say, hey, I'm a mining engineer, or I'm from South Dakota Mines. It's a great school. It's a great profession. We would be happy to provide you materials, and we would appreciate your help in that instance. But it's one of the biggest challenges we have, because as we all know, unfortunately, mining is not seen to be a good field in today's society.
All right. There's a question from Larry. Are there enough hours in a day for today's students to both access this tremendous explosion in technology while at the same time not losing sight of the basic grittiness of mining? I love that question, Larry. Thank you.
I really love that. I think students are way more technologically savvy. For me to learn something, it takes some time. Students definitely do that. Yes, it is a challenging time for the students, but I think they do it. I think we see those students, and they're very smart. And as I said, we're really proud of these students coming in. And yeah.
Great. All right. 2 questions kind of grouped around curriculum. The first one is, which specialization is best for pursuing a PhD in mining engineering if you want to become an academic, somebody like you who teaches, right? I think I'm interpreting that question. So that's the first one. And then the second one, again, we're related to curriculum is project finance a possible minor add-on?
Well, let me start with the second question. Definitely, but we would need to look into courses and things like that. We already teach some finance courses, so yes, we would be happy to. I don't know who the question came from, but if he or she would like to contact me and discuss more on this, I'd be happy to do that. Coming back to your first question, which was, sorry, Mark, the PhD thing.
Correct.
At the moment, mining is getting more and more challenging with deeper mines. So there's a lot of things, new challenges that are popping up, be it in my own research field of rock mechanics, be it ventilation, be it mine planning, and then add on to this whole automation, digitalization thing. So I think if people decide to do a PhD looking into the future of where the mining industry is, considering the depth of mining, I think those would definitely be something of great value to the industry.
Great. Um, wow, great questions coming in here. Let me go from a question from, boy, I'm not sure I'm going to pronounce that name correctly. Eben. Uh, he is asking, do you think should data science, machine learning, and programming become a core subject in mining engineering programs?
Again, a great question, Eben. That's something that we are thinking of. Now, again, we need to think about that we have a boundary, and that is ABIT, right? So we have to be careful of what we can teach. So some of the things that we have been thinking about, or even my personal vision is maybe we try to implement these data science and machine learning as part of a course so that students get a bit of a flavor of, oh, this is what it is, and then maybe we open it up for electives to say, okay, if you've done the basic course, if you're interested, you can do that. So that definitely is a possibility. And then these are things which we would like to look into and consider when you're doing the whole curriculum redesign. But what we don't want to do is take off foundation courses to replace these, because it's interesting. Again, this is exactly what I told this prospective student. There's lots of softwares out in the industry, right? We can only teach one software because we can't teach all of them. Our goal as a university, as a department, is to teach them the basics. And let's say, being a rock mechanics person, I say we can teach them rock science, the rock science software. Now, if a company wants them to be trained in Itasca codes, it is up to the company to train them, but the student knows the basic. What is stress and strain? When does it fail? All these sort of questions. So we don't see ourselves as teaching students softwares. We want to teach them the basics, be it basics in mining for sure, but also maybe basics in data science, basics in machine learning. And that's how I see our role is as faculty members.
Great. Question from Brad. One of the things in your presentation, you talked about the mining hub. Can you tell us what that is in a little bit more detail?
Absolutely. So the mining hub is basically a consortium of industries, of mining industries, and the department. So what happens is every 6 months, the members of the mining hub, and again, Mark, this is an open invitation to you. If you want me to do a presentation on mining hub again in future, I'd be happy to do that and let out and I know where we are and what the future holds. But again, it's a group where there's industry, mining industry, and there is the mining department. We sit together and think of projects that is necessary for the industry. Right now, industry puts in funds, and again, it's $5,000 to $20,000. That is the membership fees. We get that, and then we have a pot of money, and then the idea that we're going to move on in the next few months is we're going to put up requests for proposals from faculties within the school. Now, then, let's say, Mark, you're from computer science and you think, oh, I have this cool thing that I'm doing in my area that can be applicable in the mining industry. So what that means is then you apply for the proposal, the committee looks into it and says, oh, this is great. We will give Mark $20,000, $25,000 to develop this proof of concept. So what this is doing is it's someone asked a question about interaction with other departments. This is another classic example, again, more from a research side, where other industries, other departments are coming into mining and trying to help solve problems, interacting or working with the department. So there's a lot of synergy, a lot of cooperation that is happening. So as I said, I'd be happy to talk about Mining Hub in details another day.
Great. One question from Dixon. Given that the U.S. mining engineering graduations have historically seen a steep decline, how will South Dakota Mine convince incoming freshmen that mining and metallurgical degrees are resilient to the economic downturns and political climates?
I think, again, an excellent question. And this is the challenge we are facing, right? I think the story needs to go out. And, it's interesting. I was in an SME meeting and I was talking to some folks from your previous country, Mark. And I think this guy said something which really struck me. He says, Canada and its government and the industry is doing something which US, unfortunately, is not doing. And that is going out to through media, going out to people to say how important mining is. And that has really overturned the situation in Canada, where at the moment they have so many students, they're actually saying, we don't want any more mining students. They're taking so many students, which is way more than the number of jobs they have in Canada. And I think that's something we need to tell the story. And as I said, we as a department can't do it by ourselves. We need alumni, we need everyone, we need the media, we need industry, we need government to tell the story of how important it is from a national security point of view, from our technology, from our day-to-day life, how important the industry is. And I think that story needs to be told.
Maybe a companion question to this. What are the enrollment trends here at South Dakota Mine when it comes to your department?
See, for the last 5 years, we have been pretty flat. Our numbers are around the 62. This year, we are getting around 19 freshmen, which is the highest since 2018. Out of which there is 2 students from Papua New Guinea who are coming in. So, my goal is to make sure as I said, to reach out to community colleges, to other international partners to see how we can increase the number. Again, my goal is to increase that number to at least 50% more in the next 5 years. And I think
Great.
that is feasible.
Great. All right, we've got about 5 minutes, give or take, here left. So I'll give you one last call for questions. And as I do that, let me just share a comment that was made by Professor Bricky. And Dr. Mitra, I want to share that with you, but it's also kind of apropos to our conversation. As you all can, I'm quoting Dr. Bricky here. As you can all see, Dr. Mitra is beyond suited for leading our department, and I'm grateful he is willing to step up and take on this role. He has my full faith and support, and I look forward to seeing the great strides we will make in the coming months and years. So a tip of the hat to you, Dr. Mitra, and I think it's an exciting time for South Dakota Mines, but an even more exciting time for your department. We have another question here that just came in. How is all right, there's an acronym here. How is the DE graduate program doing? So DE, I'm not sure. Don, can you, distance education. Thank you, Don. How is the distance education graduate program doing?
Well, I think specifically in the master's program, that online education has really helped us. It has, our master's program have grown almost 50% in the last 5 years. We are doing because of that distance education online program, we are doing really good. Our student numbers in masters, when I was talking to some of the department heads at the other universities, we are around that 40, 45, or actually, yeah, with PhDs and everything, it's around 40 master's students and masters in PhD. And I think it's, again, thanks to the credit of the people who were before me for developing this online program, because that is going really well. Unfortunately, due to visa regulations, students cannot come, so they're taking a lot of the advantage of the online program.
Great. Well, Dr. Mitra, I think that wraps up all of our questions. For everyone here, let me just share my screen here so that I can share a couple of details. So again, today, our conversation with mining engineering and management with Dr. Mitra. So next week, we will be back with a conversation with Dr. Mark Robinson for civil and environmental engineering. And then you can see the entire rest of the series here as we go through the month of August. A couple of things I want to share with you. I mentioned that, well, first, let me go to this next slide. I mentioned that we are recording this presentation. So it will first be available on our alumni connections, our Hard Rocker connection platform, before we push it out broadly to our YouTube channel. So if you haven't registered or created your account on our Hard Rocker Connections alumni portal, and you can scan the QR code there, and you can join us there, and we will be posting first the video on that platform, and then eventually to YouTube, and we'll connect with you and all that. And then finally, we're a couple of weeks from students coming back on campus. It's been a quiet couple of weeks, or a couple of months, I should say, and I think there's a genuine excitement for all of us on campus to welcome back our students. Classes will start, I think, on August 24th, if I'm correct, Dr. Mitra, on Monday the 24th,
Yep.
correct? But here's an opportunity, as you know, in September for all of you to join us. So if you were thinking about coming back to campus, I'd like to officially invite you to join us for Rocker Days. We'll kick off the activities for homecoming, M Week, or Rocker Days on Thursday afternoon at 4 p.m. with an official ribbon cutting of the Surbeck Center Extension. And then Friday, a ton of activities, including the M Hill Picnic. And you can watch and reminisce as our freshmen make the climb up the hill and slide down, and all of those good things. And then, of course, we have the Alumni Award banquets, and then Saturday, a couple of other activities. So want to, again, invite you to join us on campus. I just, again, on behalf of Dr. Mitra and all of us here at South Dakota Mines, we want to thank you for joining us for this series. And we hope that we'll see you for the other conversations around engineering tomorrow. Dr. Mitra, thank you for taking a few minutes, or about 47 out of your day, to join us for this conversation. And we're excited for what is to come. And we're grateful to partner with you. And I know that our community is willing to do the same. Thank you, everyone.
No, thank you, Mark. Just a closing remark from my end. As I said, we can only do it with the support of everyone, faculty, staff, alumni, industry. So I'm looking forward for this journey. And again, thank you, Mark, and your team for giving me this opportunity.
You're welcome. All right, everyone, be well. Have a great rest of your day.